This is dear friends. For decades, I've been struggling with efforts by Iran to arm itself with nuclear weapons. I can define it as a mission of my life. I've stood by it until today, and I will stand by it in the future too. If an agreement without an agreement for Iran to not have nuclear weapons, not today and not tomorrow, all while I am Prime Minister of Israel, this will not happen. Now, I hear people asking, what have we achieved? And I answer them, what have we achieved? We pushed away the danger of immediate destruction. There is, together with our American friends, we created a large-scale attack formation in Israel's history. We thwarted the nuclear state. We rained down on the leaders of the terrorist regime. We crushed the nuclear facilities. We destroyed missiles and the vast majority of the facilities that produce missiles. We hit countless and infrastructure and military. We destroyed their navy, their air force too. We thwarted base commanders who became Iranians. We caused tremendous damage. We estimate that in hundreds of billions of dollars, some estimated even close to $1 trillion, tremendous damage to Iran's economy that will take them decades to rebuild. But here's the most important thing. The most important thing is that we saved the state of Israel from the threat of nuclear annihilation. Because you have to understand, Iran was rushing towards the bomb. Just before the JCPOA, it was rushing towards the bomb, and it was rushing to embed the nuclear industry and its missiles deep underground in the ground. If we hadn't acted at the time we did, and with the strength we acted, even with the JCPOA, after reaching it in cooperation with the historic President Trump and the American military, if we hadn't acted this way, Iran would already have had nuclear bombs. And what does that mean? The meaning is that millions of Israeli citizens, you who are listening to me now, all of you would have been in immediate danger of death and threats. All of us were in that danger. And that danger of annihilation of the Israeli population, we pushed away from us for years. That's what we achieved. We saved the state of Israel from destruction. But I tell you, citizens of Israel, the struggle is not over. We will have to continue to stand guard and continue to be strong and vigilant to defend ourselves as much as necessary. That's true, not just against Iran. That's also true against Iran's terrorist arms, which we have severely damaged. We did this in Gaza, we did this in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen, we did this in the refugee camps in Judea and Samaria, we did this everywhere. We eliminated Daif, Hania, and Sinwar, along with many of Hamas leaders, basically everyone who was there in the terrible massacre. I think there's one left. He'll be eliminated too. We destroyed thousands of terrorists, and there's no end to the terrorist infrastructure. We returned all the hostages from Gaza until the last one. No one believed we would do this. I believed. They told me, Prime Minister, we have to give up. Don't enter Rafah. You're done with the war. Bring the hostages. Frame the achievement we've made in Gaza as a victory.
I didn't accept these foolish words. We entered Rafah. We entered Gaza City, contrary to the opinion of many. And we returned all the hostages until the last one. And not only that, we blew up the pagers, we eliminated the tyrant Nasrallah, we prevented the Radwan force from invading the Galilee. We destroyed the vast majority of 150,000 rockets and missiles that Nasrallah built to destroy the state of Israel. Do you remember they told us if we enter a battle with Hezbollah, we will have tens of thousands of dead. The towers will fall in Tel Aviv, in Haifa, in Jerusalem, in Beersheba. The land of Israel will become a pile of ruins. Do you remember that? I didn't accept it. We fought them, and how did we fight them? We also captured their key maps, like the Beaufort. from which Hezbollah threatened for years to attack the communities of the north, basically the whole country. And at the same time, we did something else. We established security zones deep around the state of Israel. We did this in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria, where, by the way, we eliminated all the weapons of Assad's army, which was a key link in the axis of evil. I want to convey that we are staying in the security zones as long as necessary to protect our country. That's how, after the return in October, I established a simple principle. Israel will not allow terrorist organizations to camp on our borders. To strive to end tunnels into our territory will not be allowed. To prepare for a massacre near our citizens. Today, at the IDF Camp of Heroes, we are standing between the terrorists and our citizens. And basically what we did, we changed the entire security doctrine. We changed ourselves too. We broke the barrier of fear. We are leaving. We are attacking, we are surprising, and we are initiating and seeking our lives. Israel is stronger than ever, and the axis of evil of Iran is weaker than ever. And if someone had told you at the beginning of the war that we would achieve everything I listed, and I didn't list everything, you would have said he was daydreaming. Well, they're talking, promising. No. We did it. And today, after we achieved all this, there are those who want to minimize it, to cancel the achievements we've made. And I'm telling you, we are going to achieve much more great things. We will continue to thwart threats in the region. We will build new alliances with countries in the region and outside the region. We will ensure our armament independence. That's another principle I established. And I'm putting 50 billion shekels in additional funding for the defense budget. We will develop technologies that break the boundaries of imagination, and we will turn Israel into a strong power even more, because our resilience is the key to our future. It's the key to our security, and the key to our economy, and the key to our alliances, because alliances are made with the strong, and Israel today is a strong country. And it's strong, thanks to the citizens of Israel. I want to thank you for this steadfast stance. I want to thank you for the support you are giving the government, for the support you are giving me as Prime Minister. And since then, everything. I want to thank the soldiers and female soldiers, our heroes in the regular and reserve forces, at sea, on land, and in the air, in the IDF and all security branches. There is no one like you, heroes of Israel. Together, we will continue to stand, and together we will continue to win. So, do not fear, my servant Jacob, and do not be dismayed, Israel. Together, with God's help, we will ensure the eternity of Israel.
Questions. Channel 14.
Good evening, Mr. Prime Minister. Will you be able to say to the American president, who is sympathetic to us, what are the red lines of the state of Israel? Will you attack Iran alone? And will you attack in Lebanon independently? How many questions? One question. A question. Well, the president and I have known each other for many years. He is the president of the United States, and I am the prime minister of Israel. We have often seen eye to eye, and there are also cases where we see less. But I am responsible for the security interests of Israel, and I stand by them, and I want to tell you how we stand by them. You have to stand by them not with bluster, to do it wisely, and that requires a lot of experience, and the fact that wisdom and a lot of familiarity with the American system. And whatever is needed, I stand firm on our security interests. Thank you. 24 News.
Hi, 24 News.
Hello, sir. I want to ask you, did we win the war that is called the War of Revival? And if not, is the next round against Iran just a matter of time?
I think what we're seeing today is that our situation in the War of Revival on October 7th is just impossible to compare to the situation we have today. We have on our backs, we broke the axis of Iran, the axis of Iranian terror. Hezbollah is a shadow of what it was. There's still work to do. In Gaza, we control more than 60% of the territory of Gaza. Gaza is no longer a threat to Israel. What you're seeing in northern Gaza is something that no one believed, because I said that would happen too. I said the area would return to prosperity and people would feel safe. I don't know if you know. Today, the demand for apartments in the Gaza envelope is huge. There aren't enough apartments. Everyone wants to come there. Why do they want to come there? Because we really succeeded in diminishing and breaking the threat and bringing a prosperity package as well. That's what we're going to do in the north too. I know I visit the north. I was in Shlomi a few days ago. You also see the resilience of the public there, of the residents of the north, and also their distress. And I'll tell you this, but I told them, to the leaders there, I said what we did in Gaza, and no one believed we would do it, we're going to do it in the north too. And you will have security here, and you will also have prosperity, and we will achieve. I am personally committed to this, and we are working on it personally. I think we dealt very hard blows to Hezbollah, very hard. Today, the 150,000 missiles that are left are 8% of that. Today, we created a security zone that keeps all possibility of canceling all the possibility of conquering the Galilee by the Radwan force. We killed thousands of the terrorists of Hezbollah, and today we are also working. I personally am leading this to solve the global problem. It's called explosive drones. We are already doing tests inside the territory. Solutions, God willing, we will be there. In other words, we will take care of the residents of the north. They will have the same security and the same prosperity. And we brought a huge prosperity package of billions of shekels. Just a week ago for the residents of the north. We will also bring prosperity and security to the residents of the north. Channel 11. So, Mr. Prime Minister, when you launched the operation, you said the goal of the operation is to remove the threat of the Ayatollah regime in Iran. 3 months later, the end of the campaign is declared, the Ayatollah regime is still in place, the threat still exists. Where were you? Who said I was wondering? You say, I'm telling you the opposite. I wasn't wondering at all. I defined the goals, and the cabinet defined the goals differently than what you said. We said, we want to remove the existential threat of the nuclear threat, and we did that. We said we want to remove the threat of missiles, and we did that. We said we want to create the conditions that will allow the Iranian to do so if they wish, to remove from himself the terrorist regime. Now I can tell you one thing, Iran is in an economic situation that is very difficult. We hit them there with all possible methods. The damage is enormous. There are cracks within this regime too. To tell you when this regime will fall, I don't know if I could have told you that the Soviet regime would fall, but it did fall. I can't tell you if I can't tell you when it will happen. No, I didn't define it exactly as you said. Don't define for me because I know exactly what I defined. And I said to create the conditions that will help the Iranian people to overthrow the regime. No one knows when this regime will fall. My assessment is, sir, I want my assessment. Thank you. Thank you. You served as a minister today. Yes.
Thank you very much. I understand that it's hard for you to accept the fact, and it's hard for you to, unlike the things you keep pumping in your public, there is a failure here. It's a failure. Israel in the morning and Israel today, how can you compare? Israel before October 7th, when this regime was galloping towards the nuclear and more, going to produce thousands of additional ballistic missiles on us, and today this thing has been removed. These two things were achieved, and the main thing, and thank you very much, the main thing I can tell you, there is a systematic effort that is systematic to minimize the achievements of these achievements, that Israel is moving forward. Israel is coming out strong. It has leadership that also knows how to stand up for what needs to be stood up for in a smart and wise way, and strong. Yes, I want you to stick to one question, 13 more. Mr. Prime Minister, can you stand before the citizens of the State of Israel and say that you accept the security decisions on the actions of the Israel Defense Forces and not President Trump? And there were a few others who asked how many questions, so I would just like your response. There are many reports that you intend to resign in the upcoming elections. Are you planning to run and go all the way? Thank you. I'm very excited by your concern, whether I run or not. I understand. So I want to reassure you, yes, I answer you. I'll run, and I intend to win too. That's one. Regarding my relationship with President Trump, which is actually the question you asked, in the United States, they say that President Trump does everything I ask, and in Israel, they say the opposite, that I do everything he asks. So that's not true, and that's not true. This is a relationship of partners who know each other very well. I've said many times we agree, sometimes we don't. This happens in the best families. And I can say that I set parameters for certain things for our activities, and we do that. And by the way, whoever tells you, we'll decide everything in the end. We can conquer half of Europe. We just need a decision, and that's not true. And we can also not take into account at all what the United States says, and that's not true either. We take it into account. And by the way, we appreciate that he entered boldly into this place and brought the U.S. military to fight together against our common enemy. That's a big deal. I respect that. But as you can say, we completely ignore what's happening in the world, or from considerations of geopolitics. You can't say that we are completely subject to these considerations, because I think that I am leading the state of Israel has proven that it does great things and it leads many things. We initiate, we act, we surprise, and we also win. Channel 12.
First, when you were in the opposition before the last elections, you said the following things: Lapid and Gantz fell asleep on the job. The Biden administration is rushing into a bad agreement, worse than the previous one, a strategic disaster for the state of Israel, and they're doing nothing. They need to meet with senators, with members of Congress, appear on television. The question is whether you also fell asleep on the job, and whether you really intend to do all these things. Meet with senators, with members of Congress. What exactly happened, and why did Trump behave like Biden and sign such an agreement? I'm not making the comparison yet. We still don't know what the agreement is. I can say that the fundamental difference between the situation then and the situation today is that every agreement must be accompanied by a threat of military action. Then there was no credible military threat. There was no military threat. Today, because of what we did, not only because of them, because of us, because we entered there with 12,000 sorties. That's the biggest difference. 14,000 sorties. About half and half for us, a little more, half and half between the United States and us. There is a credible military threat. I say again, I can talk about my commitment as Prime Minister of Israel, that I dedicated most of my adult life to just one thing: to prevent Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And I say that if I hadn't done the things that I did over the years, Iran would have already had nuclear bombs. So they don't have them, and I don't intend for them to have them. We will do what is necessary, and again, I don't limit myself in any way regarding this goal. And this goal is simply for Iran not to have nuclear weapons. Why not?
I'll tell you the truth. Are you committed to the agreement with Iran in this agreement? Again, this agreement was made by the United States, by the President of the United States, and he thinks he can actually combine both Egyptian supervision and the cancellation of the nuclear program. And I said, that's his decision. I'll say it again, it's his decision. He's bringing it. And of course, I expressed my opinion in various conversations. On the other hand, I said that we have our own interests, first of all. Regarding the nuclear issue, I am committed that there will be no such threat against us. And secondly, regarding Lebanon, we created a tension there, a security zone. We will stay in it as long as necessary. Iran wanted us to withdraw from there. That didn't happen. Do you know why it didn't happen? Among other things, because I stood very, very firm. I was very, very determined about this. And I think that our American friends respect the determination in this firm stance. We are staying there because we need to protect the residents of the North. And there are other things, in any case. We want to preserve and are working to preserve our freedom of action. And if there are those who come to attack us, we attack them and come to attack us, as happened today. So we eliminated 4 terrorists. 2 motorcycles that approached our forces in a threatening manner were eliminated, and then 2 more terrorists. We are maintaining our freedom of action, and we are maintaining a security zone to protect the residents of the North. I thank you very much. I think that's the main thing. Thank you very much, and see you later. Thank you. Later, we'll meet again, I think. I know for other reasons. Thank you.